All right, everybody, welcome back to another deep dive with me. And
Mm.
um, so are you ready to dive deep into another source today?
I am so ready.
Oh, yeah, I can feel it in my bones.
I've got my scuba gear on.
Um, you know, those of you who had been listening to this deep dive for a while know that sometimes we go to the weirdest corners of the internet
Yeah,
to find a source that's worth deep diving into.
absolutely.
This one is certainly no exception.
No, it's not.
We are going to be looking at a post on X
Okay.
um, from none other than Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
All right, RFK Jr.
Yeah, so what's going on here?
Well, we've got a bit of a health policy kind of deep dive going on today.
Okay.
So we're going to be talking about fluoride,
Okay.
which, is in a lot of people's drinking water in the United States.
Right.
And RFK Jr. is claiming that a second Trump administration would advise the removal of fluoride from public water systems nationwide.
Okay. I mean, it's an interesting claim to make.
It is.
Because on the one hand, RFK Jr., I think of him as sort of like an environmentalist kind of figure, like somebody who's really into making sure that we have clean water.
Right.
And then you've got Donald Trump, who maybe doesn't have that exact same reputation.
No, not exactly known for his environmental stances.
So that's already kind of like an interesting little wrinkle in this whole story.
Yeah, no, that's fascinating. And what's interesting is how he's framing this potential policy change.
Right.
He's going with this slogan, "Make America Healthy Again," which really taps into that same kind of populist sentiment that we saw in earlier Trump campaigns.
It's a very catchy slogan.
It is very catchy.
So let's get into the nuts and bolts of what Kennedy is actually claiming here.
Sure.
So he made this post on X and said that on January 20th,
Okay.
if Trump wins, we can expect a recommendation to stop adding fluoride to public water systems.
Okay.
And then he goes on to list all of these reasons why he thinks that's a good idea.
Okay.
He mentions things like arthritis, bone fractures,
Wow.
bone cancer, even IQ loss, neurodevelopmental disorders,
That's a lot.
thyroid disease. It's a pretty scary list
Yeah.
if you take it all at face value.
It is, but we should put this into context.
Okay.
Yeah, remember, the Trump campaign hasn't actually officially confirmed any of this to Politico.
Right.
Their only comment was that Trump's focus is on winning the election.
Which is fair enough, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is a lot of strategic ambiguity there
Yeah.
as to whether this is really something that Trump is considering doing or whether
Yeah.
this is just Kennedy kind of going off on his own.
Yeah, it's an interesting alliance that they formed, right?
Yeah, and it's kind of a strange alliance.
But it is.
When you think about it, you've got Kennedy, who himself just recently dropped out of the presidential race
Yes, he did.
to endorse Trump.
That's right.
And back then, Trump said that he would let Kennedy go wild on health policy if they won.
That's right. He did say that.
So you can see how this might be Kennedy's chance to go wild.
Absolutely. It's crucial to understand the political backdrop here.
Right.
But to understand the potential impact of this, we kind of need to go back to the basics.
Okay.
What is fluoride?
Yeah.
Why is it even in our water in the first place?
I mean, most of us, I think, probably know fluoride best from toothpaste.
Yeah, those little tubes at the dentist's office.
Right, exactly.
But actually, it's been added to public water systems since the 1940s.
Oh, real?
Yeah, it all started in 1945. And the reason it became so widespread
Okay.
is because major medical associations realized that it had all these great benefits.
Such as?
Well, the main thing is that it strengthens tooth enamel,
Okay.
makes it much more resistant to decay.
Got it.
And that means fewer cavities,
That makes sense.
which is super important for kids whose teeth are still developing.
Right.
And because of this, it's widely considered one of the biggest public health achievements of the 20th century.
Huh.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if it's so beneficial, why all the controversy?
Right, big question.
Like, why are people so worked up about this?
Well, like with many public health interventions, some people have raised concerns
Okay.
about the potential long-term effects of fluoride,
Okay.
particularly at high levels.
Right.
There are arguments about individual choice.
Yeah.
Should the government be adding something to the water supply without our consent?
That's a good point.
And some studies have suggested possible links
Okay.
between excessive fluoride intake and certain health problems.
Interesting. So it's kind of like this ongoing debate between,
Yeah.
the established medical view that says fluoride is great for public health.
Yes.
And then you have people like Kennedy who are saying, wait a minute,
Hold on.
there might be some downsides here
Well,
that we
yeah.
need to be aware of.
Exactly. And what makes this situation even more complex is that we're talking about reversing a public health policy that's been in place for 70 years.
Right.
So you have to think about the potential impact of that.
Yeah.
Imagine the effects on dental health, particularly in communities that rely on public water systems.
Yeah, that is definitely something to think about.
Yeah.
I'm curious from your perspective,
Yeah.
what factors do you think are most important when we're weighing this potential policy shift?
Well, I think it's crucial to look at the scientific evidence carefully.
Okay.
While concerns about high fluoride levels are valid,
Right.
we also have to remember that the levels that are used in public water systems right now
Okay.
are generally considered safe and effective
Okay.
by leading health organizations.
Got it.
So really, it's about weighing the potential risks and benefits
Yeah.
and making informed decisions
Yeah,
based on reliable information.
I like it.
Yeah.
Well, folks, there you have it. Another deep dive in the books, this time
Exactly.
into the fluoride debate.
Yeah,
Definitely some interesting claims being made
for sure.
by RFK Jr.
Yes,
Potentially a major shift in U.S. health policy.
potentially.
Who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah.
But what do you all think? Let us know down in the comments. What are your thoughts on this issue?
Yeah. What do you think about fluoride?
And of course, if you enjoyed this deep dive,
Which I know you did.
please like this video, subscribe to the channel,
Yes, do all that good stuff.
hit that notification bell so you know when we post more deep dives.
Absolutely.
And we will see you next time.
See you later.
Bye.